I didn't plan to make a video today, but I found something very interesting. Since I'm a big fan of NASA, I like to watch many of their videos. Today I was watching this old footage from the Challenger mission. I was thinking I need to stop spreading this flat earth bullshit because maybe NASA is legit and maybe all their missions are real. Watching NASA videos is a good way to make yourself believe it's all real. Unless you find stuff like I will show you in a minute. Maybe other people found this already, I'm not sure, but I am sure that I never saw this before. So, when you look at this footage, sometimes it kinda makes you think, was it all real? Is it all real? Cause many parts of it kinda look real. Like the part where you see all the people watching the rocket, like this part. It's kinda hard to fake it and it kinda looks very real, so the rocket probably was real. But then, well, just let's keep watching, it will show up in a minute. This video was uploaded by the International Astronautical Federation. And like a good reporter or a good journalist, I checked my sources and this is what Wikipedia told me. It's an international space advocacy organization based in Paris and founded in 1951 as a non-governmental organization. But it's full of governmental people. But that doesn't matter. It's uploaded by them. I will link the video in the description so you can all watch it. And maybe you can put some comments on the original video, but please be polite.
Making sure everything is running properly. The next scene you'll see from the cockpit is when the solid rocket boosters departed, and that was really a bright flash. And after that,
this is all showing the rocket from the Earth going to space. This is the real part because it is real. But now the rocket is getting into space, so now the fakery comes in. This is the time when you watch the recent rocket launches. This is when they switch to animations. But back in the time there was no software to make animations, so they had to do something else to convince you that the rocket is in space. These days they just use cartoons. It's kinda insane that people believe cartoons. Do you wonder how they used to do it 30 or 40 years ago? Do you remember Thunderbirds? That basically shows it. It's just a bunch of tiny models in a dark room with some special effects. But at least Thunderbirds did a decent job, because in Thunderbirds you never saw a guy in the background showing up. So this video is an astronaut explaining the mission. It's not like practice footage or anything. Watch closely.
That was basically our arrangement. Dan sat in the pilot seat during this operation, sort of monitoring the motion of the vehicle, making sure that it was steady and that there were very few vibrations of any sort. This is a picture of the INSAT actually being deployed from the spacecraft. You can see that the deploy went very smoothly. At the moment of deploy...
Did you see it? In the background? There was a guy in the background, man. I'm not kidding you. You can't deny that that's someone in the background. There's a guy moving in the background. Here, watch it again. Watch it closely. I looked up, or I tried to look up the size of this rocket. I found this picture. You can see it's massive. So if that rocket is in space and if there's a guy in the background in that footage, that means that there are like giants, but like insane big giants floating around in space looking at NASA. That's probably why they don't dare to go back to the moon and why they hide so much stuff. Space is full of giants. Well, NASA, this video was a lot of fun to watch. There's a lot of weird things in this. Let's keep watching a bit more of this.
About a minute 20 seconds after deployment, you can see some of the jets on the spacecraft.
Here you can see how they switch on the light of the Earth. It's kind of funny, isn't it? How do you explain all this shit? But at least you can see that the Earth is a ball. At least they are not hiding the shape of the Earth. Or maybe is it a fisheye lens? Oh, the satellites start to spin for the video. Well, at least we see it's a ball, you know. It's even more a ball when it goes down. And it doesn't look like it's in outer space, it looks like high altitude at most. These old videos are a lot of fun to watch. Anyway, I showed you what I wanted to show you. Thank you for watching my video again. And by the way, I found a cool place where I can buy helium. So I'm not gonna launch a balloon or anything, but I have a pretty amazing idea in my head that I want to try for a long time already. I think I will have a video soon with my little helium project. I hope I can do it. More about that soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
You're talking about the Earth being flat. Thousands of scientists have looked into it. You think they're all wrong? That's so insane.
You haven't looked into it.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So you spin, you know, when you spin pizza dough, it kind of flattens out. It gets wider in the middle. And so Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning. And it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the poles. So it's not actually a sphere. So it's not actually a sphere. It's not actually a sphere.
All I'm saying is, when I look at all of it, when I look at the photographic evidence, or I look at the fact that we haven't been back since 1972, when I look at the fact that no humans except the Apollo astronauts have ever gone through the Van Allen radiation belt, the fact that no one's even done a flyby around the moon since then, it seems weird to me. When I look at the press conference and I see Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong and Michael Collins nervous and weird and obviously like being deceptive after they came back.
You can see on the back of his shirt a couple of upticks on either side where you would expect wires to come in on either side of that harness. They're often portraying that this is live. Of course, these things are fully choreographed and edited in advance to make sure that there's nothing too obvious.
Looks CGI to me.
That gives away that this is a suspension in front of a blue screen hoax. The moon landing stopped in 1972 and we haven't been back. We haven't been beyond the Van Allen belts.
We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space, through the waves of radiation.
So you spin, you know, when you spin pizza dough, it kind of flattens out. It gets wider in the middle. And so Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning. And it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the poles. So it's not actually a sphere. It's oblate. And officially it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby's a good way. It's like pear-shaped.
But what?
NASA's.
No, I could be wrong. It could be real.
There's too many things
It could
you
be
don't
real,
believe
but
in.
they've been faking them so much they look like all those other fake ones.
You've probably seen images like these from NASA. Grand and beautiful scenes of the cosmos and worlds beyond our own. I've always wondered who makes these and how do they do it? This is Robert Hurt and Tim Pyle, two multimedia artists at IPAC Caltech. Yes,
They look. I've seen so many fake ones that NASA admits that they're CGI composites. There's so many out there. So when you see this one, it's like this is the same one. There's so much fraud when you look into it. I'm like, I don't trust shit. Look into it.
They take scientific discoveries that look something like this and turn them into something like this.
The faking of spacewalks in a swimming pool. In this vid, you catch a glimpse of someone wearing a scuba tank. In 2013, a gallon of water leaked into one of their spacesuits in a matter of seconds. NASA doesn't really have a proper explanation for how on earth this could have happened.
Commander Whitson making history with her record for any American. By the time she lands in September, her tally will be 666 days in space.
With the Earth supposedly 23.4 degrees on its axis. And that leaves you, of course, the occultic number, again, 66.6 degrees off.
To look into it.
Well, Earth is supposedly orbiting around the sun at 66,600 miles an hour.
That's so insane.
You haven't looked into it.
However, according to experts, these photographs are much less conclusive than one might think.
Einstein told us that light actually is attracted by gravity. In other words, the path of light is not straight in a strong gravitational field. So astronauts looking at the Earth see a curved Earth. But what they don't realize is that it's not the Earth that's curved, it's the light taking a curved path from the Earth because of the strong gravitational field of the Earth that makes the Earth look curved.
How come when you check the internet it's valid, but when I'm on the internet it's not?
You're not talking about the internet. You're talking about a guy's YouTube video.
No, it's not guys. There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of people.
Okay, but they're just YouTube videos.
It's huge.
In October of 1929, Andrea again tried to focus the world's attention on the controversy by proving the notion the Earth spins to be absolute nonsense. It was reasoned that if a dirigible was to go aloft in England and hold itself perfectly static, then by the accepted theory the Earth should rotate underneath it and New York should come into view some 4 or 5 hours later. In fact, England was never lost from view.
And this is from NASA's official website. This one-page spot the station, of course referring to the so-called International Space Station, which of course does not exist. Take a look here. What do you see? As a form of mockery, they have the flat Earth model on their website. A look here as well when it comes to the UN logo, which of course is basically the flat Earth model.
Through time-lapse photography, the velocity of these clouds has been dramatically increased. While they were actually drifting over the mountains at approximately 27 miles per hour, they now have the appearance of moving at well over 100, 4 times their normal speed. If the clouds were stationary and the Earth was revolving underneath them, this is how it would appear if the Earth was spinning at 100 miles per hour. Yet we're told that the Earth is spinning at 10 times that speed.
The science behind them is not verified by peer-reviewed journals. The science of the Earth,
the government science that's bought and paid for.
What excuse do you have here? This is from ground level. As the guy with the camera pans back, you're going to see that boat and that buoy disappear right here. There you go. Gone out of sight. Not around the so-called ball Earth. It's all due to perspective. That's simple.
And that's in my opinion, is what the globular Earth theorists have done. They've just eliminated what they didn't know. The more honest approach is the flat Earth approach, where you say, well, we don't know what's at the ends, but the ends are there.